Alright, what is going on, you guys, man? It's Lonnie, and today we are going to be breaking down on, figuring out your why when it comes to building your vintage reselling business. So, guys, your why should not be, I'm here to make money. Your why should simply say, you know what, okay, I'm building something and I love building something. All right, your why should be, I want to get my family at this position. Your why needs to be so big and so strong where the how or where I'm going to do this doesn't even matter, fellas, where it doesn't matter at all, fellas. Because if you want to stay in the vintage reselling business and you're only here to simply, oh, I'm here to make money, oh, I'm here to do this, oh, I'm here to do that, then you're not going to get into it, fellas. It needs to be, I'm building something. Your why needs to be like, it needs to be something very deep, because money is great. The money in vintage reselling is great. I've made hundreds of $1,000s. I lost $1,000. I made hundreds. I've made all the money, right? Well, I'm not a millionaire, but I've made really good money when it comes to building a vintage reselling business. And you have to understand, guys, that is not enough. Money might get you started, but it isn't usually enough to keep you consistent. Because, guys, there's going to be weeks, there's going to be days, there's going to be weeks where you're not getting enough inventory. There's going to be weeks where you're not, the thrifts are hidden. There's going to be weeks where your content's bonds. There's going to be weeks where you'll spend hours of listings and you're going to have dead inventory that's not moving. And it's those days are what's going to determine, like, okay, how strong are you mentally and how bad do you really want this business to work out? How bad do you want it to work out, fellas? And if you simply say, the only reason I'm in here is for the money, then you will literally quit. So, fellas, for me, I love vintage reselling business, bro, because it's not about clothes. I love it because it's giving me an opportunity to say, like, I built this for myself. I want freedom over my life. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to be up under the clock. I don't want to have a manager. I don't want to have this. I want to do this full time for my job. I want to say I do this for a 9 to 5. I wanted to build a brand to simply sell clothes and eventually help others to do so. And that's what I'm literally doing. I've built Lonnie's Vintage, but I'm going to continue to build while simultaneously working on Lonnie Talks, which I'm going to transform into a motivational / business, Instagram account. That's what I'm doing as right now. And fellas, for your own purpose, you have to ask yourself why. Why do I actually want to start selling vintage? What would this business allow me to do? What changes in my life if I become successful? Who benefits if I succeed? What happens if I never take this seriously, fellas? I want to get on that last question on what happens if you never take this business model serious, or if you never take any business model seriously. Fellas, or anyone who's watching, man, you have to treat this model so seriously that it's like, it's what you live, breathe, and eat. Like, don't idolize it. Of course, idolize God, fellas. Like, God is the one and all. But, and who benefits if I succeed? You can't just be bringing people along your building journey. In your building journey, fellas, you got to cut the party and the drinking and the smoking off. You got to cut all that stuff off, all right? What changes in your life if you become successful? Okay, so what is going to change in your life, fellas? Write this stuff down. What would this business allow me to do, fellas? My business has allowed me to create connections, to make money online, to have freedom, to not worry about bills as much as I used to do. And why did I want to start selling vintage? I want to start selling because I know that everyone loves secondhand shopping. I love secondhand shopping. I love going to the thrift and finding this. I love the price. Like, I sold to my friend Demi today, and I love how he said, man, like, this is really good clothes. I love how he created content around my clothes. So I love building those connections. So, fellas, I found my why. If you need to find your why when it comes to creating your vintage reselling business, man. And don't think about these things. You need to write these things down, because your why will create better decisions. Once you know your purpose, every decision becomes easier. All right. So, fellas, what I mean by that is, right, so I'm getting opportunities to go to events Saturday, Sunday, this day, that day, and my why is so big enough because I want to create these connections, and I need to go to these events because I need to shake hands and I need to introduce myself to other people. And what I simply mean is that, like, I'm going to be so quick on decision making. Should I take off work? Yes. Should I reinvest this money? Yes. Should I post inventory today? Yes. Should I wake up early to source? Yes, yes, yes. You're going to be so quick on your decision making simply because that your why is so big that the how shouldn't even matter. So you're going to start investing. You're going to start thinking with precision because your why is there, and your action step, while you're starting. what success looks like in your eyes. What kind of business do you want to build? Do you want to build a business that, people can come to you for clothes? Do you want to build a business that people can come to you for education? Do you want a business that people can come to you for content? Do you want a business that, you have a specific niche? Write these things down because, you will literally see it. Who you're becoming throughout this process, fellas. I've gotten bigger. You guys see, fellas, I've been able to get my own apartment. I'm not at home anymore. I've literally been able to get a apartment off of vintage reselling. I got a apartment off vintage reselling, off online money, fellas. So, fellas, man, in the next video, we're gonna break down more steps on building your vintage reselling business, man. We're gonna name this video "Figuring Out Your Why." Figure out your why. Why do you want to start? Why do you want to create this business? Who's gonna benefit out of this business? And who do you want to become, fellas? It's Lonnie. I love y'all, boys. Subscribe for more. I'm out.